Right, now, you will be super, super pleased to know that 2 nights ago, I did a balance training course and exam, and I am now balance training qualified. What that means, don't know, but you know exactly. We'll go with it anyway. And all I can tell you is you needed a degree in biology to get through the exam. My God, I was like, I don't even know how to pronounce that name, let alone say it. So we are going to do a little bit of the moves from there, because obviously they're balance related. So they are very different to the more yoga related moves. So you don't hold them, they're much more dynamic. So we're actually going to start today, because I don't really want you fatigued because you won't be able to do them otherwise. We're actually going to start with the balances, and they are a little bit different. Okay, so we're gonna work our way through those. Just pre-warning you, they look easy. They aren't. So if you're like, oh my God, I'm wobbling around all over the place, this is an absolute nightmare, you will, it's okay, because actually they are more advanced than they look. And because they're dynamic, you have to keep changing your plane and your level. So you will wobble about a bit, and that's perfectly okay. What we'll do is we'll work on them, and then hopefully you'll see an improvement in the weeks when you're continuing to practice them. So let's have a little go at that. Now the first one is to warm your legs up, actually. And I have done this a little bit this week. So I do know that most people have, sort of found it relatively difficult. And I'm just trying to think, Zoe, I think we might have done this actually. So what I'd like you to do is come sort of towards the front end of your mat. So you're actually going to put a leg behind you. And then we're going to lunge backwards. So hands in front of you, do a little lunge backwards, and don't quite hit your knee on the floor. And then what I'd like you to do is place your hands in front of you and lean forwards. So just taking your foot off the floor. Keep everything bent, and then push back, lean forwards. This is a variation on what we did, I think, though. And then down and push. So let's just try that a few times. So just keep your balance and try and think, right, okay. That's it. If it's a bit stressful on your knee, let me know. Right, let's try one more on this side. Down, push forward. Very good. Okay, give your legs a little wriggle out if you need to. Then let's swap to the other side. So plant the other foot on the floor, push that leg backwards, sinking down. So you're not doing this, you're not doing that, you sink right down. So this is creating a right angle. And then you're putting your hands forward and just lean onto them, lift that foot off. Place it down and back up. Down, balance. Let's do a couple more. Down, balance, good. And down and balance. Excellent, very, very good. If you manage that, they're not that easy. Okay, now let's move on to the more dynamic balance training. So first of all, I'd like you to plant your foot, and then we're going to lift, literally as if you are just doing that. Just lift one foot off, then bend your knee slightly, the one that you're resting on. Hands in front of you, and that's it. Okay, so the first one. Now what I'd like you to do, I'm going to spin to the side so you can see, is sit slightly. So once you've lifted your foot off, put your hands in front of you, I want you to bend that knee and just sit back very slightly. And that should destabilize you a tiny bit. So this needs to sit as if you're sitting on a high stool. That's it. Hold it. Bring yourself up, drop that foot, give yourself a shake. Right, let's try the other side. So plant the foot first, lifting, hands in front of you, sit back. That's it. Hold it, nice and steady. If you can think of something on the floor that's not necessarily moving, Just keep your eye on that. Bring yourself up, drop your foot back down. Lovely. Right, let's try that again. One side then the other side. So plant your foot, lift your foot, sit back. The important bit is sitting backwards. Okay, keep your back straight. Just try and control that wobble in your ankle. And lift. Tummy nice and pulled in so you're not flopping it forwards. Let's swap feet again. Lift it up. Bend your knee, sit backwards. Try to concentrate and lose any wobbles if you've got them. Hold it. And release. Very good. Right, so a little bit more basic, that one. So let's advance that slightly. If you're like, oh, I can't even do that, keep where you are, okay? If you're like, no, all good, we can do that. So back to position one. So lifting, hold it. Now what we're going to do is come across this plane and step over and balance again. That's it. So step, balance. Now what you may find is it's worse on one leg than it is on the other, and try really hard to stop the wobbling. Okay, stop, hold it, back to the other side. You are just walking it at the moment. So no actual hop, you're just walking and balance and back again. Very good. Very good. Mastered. Well done, ladies. Okay, now let's change the plane again. So instead of coming across, we're going to go round. Now this is okay forward, it's backwards, which is the issue. So let me demonstrate. Position one, turn, bring your foot forwards. Then you're turning backwards behind you and bring it back again. That's the hard bit because you're going behind you. So turn one way, lift. That's not too bad. Bring your foot back and bring it back again. That's the one that's a tad harder. Very good. Right, let's try one more. So turn and turn back. Whoa. Good. Right, so come across to the other side. So just take a step over. Plant the other foot. Position one. That's it. So now we're going this way. So come around that plane. Come backwards. Oh, see. Oh. And again, bring it. I find it definitely easier on one side than the other. And back. So make sure you're holding it there. You've definitely got your balance before you move again. Moving. There. And back. There. Oh, very good. Right. Release. Let's try something a teeny bit harder. When you hop it and physically leave the floor, as you can imagine, when you're landing back on that foot, you've got to work a little bit harder to balance. So let's try our side step, but with a little hop now. So you're getting into position one, hop it onto the other foot. Hold it and making sure that you've definitely got your balance. Hop it back again. So you're just creating a little bit of air, little hop. It doesn't have to be some massive leap. Just making sure that you are bending your knees again and hop back over. Good, let's try one more. So hop. Good, keep your balance. And then back. Good, iron out the wobbles. Perfect. Right, as you can imagine, of course, you can do that whilst you're twisting. So let's just make that a tiny bit harder again. So when you're doing your turn, it's the back again, which is hard. So try and jump. You're jumping onto your foot, and then you're jumping whoop, backwards. Now, the good thing about this is you can just put your foot down. So jump and turn, and then jump back. Oh, it's really hard. Try it again. Jump and turn, and jump back. Very good. Very, very good. That's it. Right. come across to the other side. So let's try that again. Again, don't be surprised if it's harder on one side than the other. I can't even balance on one foot now. God. Right, jump. And jump back. Oh God, much harder. Jump. Control. Hop. Whoa. Much harder. And jump. And back. Very good. Very good. Right. Now, we can change the plane. We can also change the level. So we're going to try, if you turn towards your mat now, so you've got your mat lengthways, what we're going to do is jump down and then up again. So we'll try the step and then we'll jump it. So step down, come onto the floor. So you're into a little ball and then step back up with that foot. So down, back again, try to stay on one foot. Oh. And again, step it forwards and step back. Oh. Right, swap legs. So step it forwards and step back. This is new to me. Down and step back. Oh, and one more. Step it down and step it back up. Oh, very good. If you manage that, good effort. Very good, very good. Right, let's give your legs a little dig. Right, okay, now a tiny bit more traditional towards holding the balance. Okay, so we're not going to leap about. We're going to try and hold it. This is strength related. So back to our original position. And what I'd like you to do is sit back, take your opposite, the hand that is the same as the leg that's up, and bring it across and hold it. So the other hand's just behind you, out of the way. Hold it. Now what you should feel is, first of all, you've got to balance. Also, that leg is taking a lot of pressure. And lift up. Good. Right, swap legs. So foot up, sitting backwards. Get that bit right first. The same hand that is the leg that's up comes opposite and across. The other hand just behind you. Hold it. Legs should be feeling this. Balance should be controlled. And back up. Oh, that is not easy. Is anyone else starting to sweat? Oh my God, it's ridiculous. So let's try that again. Maybe it's just me. Right, so lift your leg up, sit back, opposite and across. Hold it. Can you go any lower? Oh, hold it. And back up. Very good. Oh my goodness. Right, opposite leg. Lift up, sit back, hand over. Come lower if you can. Don't quite touch the floor. Oh my goodness, everything's working. And sit back up. Very good. Woo! Right, so that is a tiny little introduction to balance training. I'm quite excited about it. Not easy, but excellent for trying to control your balance a little bit more. All right, after that, I'm knackered, so I think we need a little lie down. So come to the end of your mat, and we're going to do a really nice big stretch up. Now, when I say nice big stretch up, I really want a big stretch up. So all the way up, massive deep breath in. Clasp your fingers together and just push them up to the ceiling. Big deep breath in and release it down. And again, all the way up. Clasp your hands together, push them up to the ceiling, lift and release and down. Roll it down. Chin to chest, nice and slowly. Now, when we get down here, depending on what you've been doing all day, your legs will possibly feel a bit tight if you've been sat a lot. So just drop your head. Drop, drop, drop.
relax. So a couple of deep breaths here. Now what you should hopefully find is you just sink just another millimetre more. Just sink it down as your legs relax. Take one hand, if you can, if you're down that far, and just put your toes, hands underneath your toes, and just drop, if you can. If not, you're just reaching for your toes. That's it. Just let your back feel your deep breath, expanding out, and relax. Okay, whilst we're down here, what I'd like you to do is swap over your hands. So if you're up here, I want you to cross them over and try and reach. If you're down here, I want you to put the other hand opposite. That's actually quite a lot harder. You should find that a bit more of a stretch. Drop your head. Okay, release your fingers if you have them, and then swap around the other side. So you're crossing over the other way. You'll feel that slightly in the shoulder that's in front of you. Very good. Okay, dropping your hands. Walking yourself forwards. And then we're coming into a fairly long downward dog. Excuse me. T-shirt going all over the place. So a long downward dog this time. So you're not that close to your feet. Breathe. Relax it down. Okay, take a little step with your feet in, just an inch or so, and push it back again. Just push it down. And again, a little step in. If your arms are starting to ache, shoulders start to ache, just bring your knees down and come back up again when you're ready. Breathe. Push those heels to the floor if you're able to. If that's as far as you can go, then just stay here. If not, you can come in a little bit further. It will get to a point where it's quite tight. Okay, up onto your toes wherever you are, and then come down onto all fours. Excellent. Right, so before we go into a cat stretch, I just want to push out. So just bring one knee in very slightly more, straighten the other leg and tuck your toe under. Bring your hands towards the end of the mat and then push backwards. Now, this should be for your shin, calf, sorry. Just relax, try and relax your shoulders into this. And if you want to, you can come down onto your forearms, but it's up to you, whatever you feel is giving you more of a stretch. Okay, bring your knee in, and then we're swapping, push back. Push it back, relax your shoulders. Try and get that muscle set to relax, because if you have been walking around or running, this is really tight. Okay, bring your knee back in, and then we're going to even ourselves onto all fours. Coming up into a really strong cat stretch. You guys have done this cat stretches a number of times. Really push it up. Sink through to center and drop. Sorry, I just need to get my elbow to click. And bring it through to center all the way up. Through and sink. Really, really, really sink that down. You should feel your abs stretched right at the bottom there. And then one more all the way up. sink it down and lift. Fantastic. Okay, through to center. We don't 100% of the time do a really nice child's pose. We might come out of it and do something, but I really want to concentrate on it for a minute, because if anything at all, and you've got time for any stretch, it's this one. Unless your knee is really playing up, this is a sort of a bit of a cure-all for everything. Personally, I prefer to do it with my knees out, so you can really, really stretch all the way down. But it's completely up to you. If it's more comfortable to bring your knees in, that's totally fine. So your position on your knees. To get the biggest stretch out of this, hands down, sit, really sit and curve, okay? So let's just do this movement for a second. So hands down, and then push your bum out and curve it. So you should feel a little curve in the lower back here, and then bring it back again. So tuck your pelvis under, untuck entirely. Now where you should feel that is your hip flexors here. So your hips are having to really try to relax. Bring it back again, and then curve and relax. So whilst we're in this position, then you're going to start. So as soon as you do this, that first, then start walking your hands out. And what you'll feel is that stretches your hips much more. Out, out, that's it. Now, as you're moving out, just inch, literally millimeter your fingers towards the end of the mat. And then you can't go any further without dropping your head. It's at that point you drop your head. So forehead onto the mat, and really try and sink your shoulders, your armpits, right to the mat. They won't reach, but just try to get them near as they can. And just sink down. So you should be able to feel this in your inner thighs, your hips, your back, your shoulders, and your neck. So everything is sunk down and relaxed. Just try to regulate your breathing, relax. One more deep breath in. Sink down. Good. Okay, just take your forehead off the mat and then slowly crawl your way back, but just keep your forearms on the floor. So this position, if you really want to stretch out the bottom half, but you don't want to stretch out the top half, or you've got a bit of a shoulder injury or something's aggravating, then you can do this just as well without actually putting pressure on your shoulders, so you can stay here. Or you can create a little pillow and drop your head. So just a few ways to do the same thing. Whilst we're down here, if your shoulders are feeling good, let's just try and give them a more of a stretch out, and your trunk area, your back. So try and stay back, bring your arms through and drop your shoulder, drop your head. If this is all too much in this position, it's just far, too strong, just lift your bum up. Okay, if not, we're sinking down. That is a lot stronger. Hold it here. And as always, if you want to go into the more advanced, we're going to try just behind your back today. So just twist your head more, bring your arm up, the one that's not fed through, and then round and touch your other hip. And then once you've got it, just sink it back down again, sink the whole lot back down. Try and keep that elbow up. That will provide more of a stretch. Okay, just release your arm up and back down to the floor and untangle yourself from that. If you are starting to feel a little bit pins and needles, just come up and just rag your feet, okay? If you do at any point feel a bit pins and needles on that one, because your feet are squashed,
come up and do that. If not, we're back down onto your forearms. You're feeding the other arm through and drop. I'm going to have to be careful because of the earpiece. Really sink everything down. Arms should be fully on the floor. Okay, if we want to go into the more advanced, twisting your head, arm up to the ceiling first, and then bring it round to your other hip. And sink everything down, keep that elbow up. That will provide more of a stretch. Holding it here, and release yourself out. Bring your hand back round and come back up. Oof, right, bringing your knees together and just bring yourself up, and we'll just do a puppy wag. Just get yourself out of that. If you need to just wriggle your toes as well and your feet, that's it. Gotta love a puppy wag. Okay, bring back to center and sit down. If this is just starting to aggravate you still, just sit on your bum. It's not going to make too much difference as to what we're going to do. So I'm going to just face forward for you. Okay, rolling our shoulders really nice and strongly. Really big concentrating rolls. Okay, so the last one, keep it down and then drop your head down. So you're looking down towards your chest, chin towards your chest, keep those shoulders pushed right back. I want you to think as if I'm just holding, not pushing, but holding your shoulders down and back, and then your head is just pushed forward. So you should feel that it's actually quite strong. If you want to exaggerate it further, just sit on your hands slightly and push. So this is like when you grab the chair, when we're doing this on the chair, you can just keep them down a bit further. Okay, just release your shoulders and bring your head up. And then we're going to roll the other way. Remember, if your feet are starting to cramp, just sit on your bum. Okay, hold, push your hand back again, take hold of your bum cheeks basically, and then drop your head. If this doesn't feel strong, you're probably not pushing your shoulders down enough because it is quite a strong move. Hold it and release. Good. Okay. Swing round and then bring yourself onto your bum with your legs in front of you. Get rid of that. Got my Jamie Oliver books as well. Might come to them. As you can probably clearly see, look, no stuff in my lounge. It's all gone back to the gym. I have my lounge back, more or less. So hands back, shoulders back, and then we're just going to wriggle your ankles and your toes. So just give them a little wriggle out because you have been sat on them for a little while. That's it. Okay, flex and point. Flex and point. And one more. Flex and point. Wonderful. Okay, legs staying in front of you. I want you to try and keep both bum cheeks on the floor. But first of all, just move them out the way so you can feel right on your sit bone. Hands out to the side. And then we're going to lift one arm up really nice and tall. Really tall. So if I've got a pole into your back. And then the other side. So not leaning yet. Just tall. Fingers right up to the ceiling and up and over. And again, up and over. Good. Right now, we're going to add a lean. So up nice and tall first, then lean it over. Try very hard to keep everything else on the floor. And that's it. Up. Beautiful ballerinas. And over. Right, and again, so up and over. You might feel that you can go a little bit lower. If you can, you're bringing your elbow down. It doesn't have to reach the floor, but don't do it at the expense of lifting your glutes off the floor. Keep them on the floor. And back up. And you also may find that you can do it one side and you can't do it the other side. Don't worry. Go with what your body's going to do today. Good, up and over. Right, that plane looking good. Let's look at this plane now. So first things first, we haven't done a full Lord of the Fish for a while, so I think it's about time. So first things first, keeping your legs forward. I just want you to bring your hand to the opposite knee and then bring your arm up and over and twist. So we're staying seated. Good, twisting it back, opposite arm, hand up and over, really big reach, twist round. Good, and bring that to center. Right, if that's enough for you, you stay there. If you want to advance it, we're going to lift, it doesn't matter which legs, we're going to do both. Lift one leg, and just put it over the other side of your knee, and then bring your leg up. Same again, so up and across. This is the slightly more difficult one. If that is too difficult for your shoulders, just hold on to your knee, okay? And then up and over, bring it round and look over your shoulder. Try and keep everything quite tight to you. Keep it quite far in. And as I said, if the arm over is too much, you're just going to hold on to your knee, okay? And bring it back. And swapping. So instead of, I want you to go this way. Now, I know it feels really weird, but if you come back again, so just hook your knee, your elbow over your knee, and then just twist back again. Kind of feels quite easy when you go this way, but slightly weird. Come back. Right, now swap legs. So bring that leg down, other leg across, up, close to your knee, then bring it in, then your choice. So holding on, gripping, or bringing it right over. And arm up and over and twist. Really try and find that pressure against your knee with your elbow and look over. Breathing, breathing. Good. Slowly bring yourself back again. And leaving it there, hook your elbow to your knee and come the other way. So trying your elbow and your knee are slightly fighting against each other to try and keep yourself upright. Back as straight as you can. And bring it back again. Wonderful. Right. Full fish if you'd like to. If you want to do the same again, by all means. So first leg over, up, if you can remember which leg was first. Sounds like something I'd do. And then I'd like you to lean onto the foot that's on the floor and flick the other leg around, okay? Don't have to do this, it's too complicated. Bringing it round, right yourself up, making sure that your bum cheek's back on the floor again. Then you can either take hold of your leg, bring it round, whatever's more comfortable, and twist. Much stronger, much harder. Try and keep everything nice and close and upright. Good. And slowly bring yourself out of that. To bring yourself out, top leg first. Okay. Now this is a tricky bit. It's remembering which one went over first. So I think it's the other leg over up. Hopefully if you're copying me, it's all right. So once you're up here, foot, lean that way. Tuck the other leg under. Not that easy if you do it the other way, and you'll find very quickly that you've done it wrong, so just swap legs. Okay, so holding on or bringing it over and twist around. Try and keep your back straight. Knee nice and close. Everything nice and close to you.
Breathing, not that easy to breathe in this one. Good, and slowly bring yourself out of it. Beautiful. Top leg first. Untuck, legs back to the front. Okay, just reposition yourself, bum cheeks out the way. Make sure you're feeling nice and tall. Stay where you are. I'm just going to flick around so you can see what I'm going to do. Okay, so arms all the way up. Flexing your toes and hinge forward. So really a hinge, not a curl. Drop your head. Now, if you've got hold of your toes, try and push your toes forwards and get an additional stretch around the back of your shoulders. And then let go of whatever you have, arms up by your ears, up, 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 and down. Good, deep breath in. Okay, let's do that again. So, flexing your toes, arms all the way up, deep breath in, and fold forwards. Holding on to toes, push forwards if you can, hold on to toes if you can, drop your head wherever you are. And let go, arms all the way up, and drop down. Lovely. Okay, just give your legs a little jig. So scoot yourself forwards very slightly so you've got some room to go backwards. Holding onto a knee, just pick one and then drop the other leg down flat. So you're upright and you're just keeping that foot just slightly off the floor. And then we're going to roll back and try really hard to control. This is harder than it looks. Oh, try not to flop on the floor. There we go. Right, just keep holding that knee. Relax your shoulders. Now, keep a good grip of this knee, because what I want you to do is push your knee away, lift your head, and curl back up again without the other leg trying to lift off the floor. Not that easy. And then come back up to straight. That's it. Right, take a grip, curl it down, curl it down, curl it down, curl it down. Trying not to flop. Not that easy. Bring it in. Really feel that lovely stretch. All around your hip flexors, take another grip of that knee. And you're pushing your knee away, head up, and curl it back up. Beautiful. Lovely, hold on to it. Okay, let's try that with the other leg. So drop the foot, other leg. Keep a good grip. Yeah, so feel that stretch. Use your tummy muscles very slightly. Roll it down. Loosening, loosening, roll, curl. And bring that leg in whilst you're down. Hold it there. Re-grip. Okay, and push your knee away from you. Keep hold. Lift your head and curl it back up. Trying super hard not to lift the other leg off the floor. It's really difficult. Give it a go. Okay, back up straight. Let's curl down again. So curl it down, curling down. Curl, 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 curl. And grip. Re-grip. And push your knee away, lift your head, and roll it back up. Very good. Right. Same leg, roll it down, and bring both knees in. Good. Okay. Keep those knees nice and close to you. Now, what I'd like you to do is re-grip your hands again like you just had them, and then I want you to squeeze. This isn't that easy because for us girls, things get in the way. So just try and grip as much as you can. And what we're going to do is come into a tiny ball, and you should find that the stretch is right at the lower back here. So it's basically your coccyx area. It should just get a little stretch because you're lifting. Keep your head on the floor. And it's that final little curl right at the bottom. So squeeze it in as far as you can, and then release. And one more, squeeze it in, really feel that just tilt. And release. Good. Right. Now I'd like you to butterfly your legs. So you've got your knees are out, your toes are touching, and then we're going to bring that butterfly. Just use your core very slightly and slowly bring that butterfly down, and then your toes will touch the floor. And what I'd like you to do is really try and relax down, because it's really not an easy position actually. Tilt your pelvis slightly so you haven't got a huge arch in your back, and then just try and relax your legs down. Now this is harder for some than others, because if your inner thighs are really, really tight, if they are too tight, and this is actually quite painful because of gravity, make a fist with each of your hands and then stick them to the side of your bum. And what that does is it prevents your knees from going far too far down without you being able to control it. If you don't have to do that though, because it's still not that painful, just release them and just let them relax. This is a super, super tight area and is not that easy to stretch out. And also you hold a lot of tension here. So if you have had a stressy week, it might all be in this area, and the other area obviously is your shoulders. They should be feeling a lot more relaxed now. Just keep those toes together, and remember you've always got the option of just easing that relax with your hands. Good, relax. Good. Right, now, carefully, using your hands to assist, put your feet flat on the floor and bring your knees up nice and slowly. Don't do that quickly. Tilt your pelvis fully and then use your core to bring your knees in. And then we're going to do something similar right up here. So it does feel different. You're going to leave your toes out now. Drop your knees right to the side. Your toes, to repeat, don't need to be together on this one. Just drop it right out. Try really hard to keep your knees in though, and you'll find that actually gets lower in your inner thigh, right at the top. You can use your hands to assist down if you need to. If they're sort of wanting to do this, try and keep your knees in. Hold it right out. Not the most elegant of positions, this one, not going to lie. Just relax. Good. Okay, just release your knees and then just bring them very slowly in. Try not to pinch groin or anything. Right, one leg over the other. And if your glutes are tight, this will soon sort them out. So one hand on one knee, one hand on the other. Bring your knees right in. Now, again, being careful not to pinch your groin. It's quite difficult to explain, but if you can actually get hold of your knees and then slightly pull them apart in the cross position, it basically intensifies the stretch you should feel around your glutes and your hip. The one that's getting more of a stretch is the top leg, which you should feel significantly more than the bottom leg. Just keep it in as much as you can. I know not so easy to bring it in for some. Relax. And then you're going to swap legs. So just cross the legs the other way, taking hold of one knee, then the other knee, and bring it in nice and slowly. Try not to pinch anything. If it does pinch, immediately let go. And then slightly pull your knees apart to get an intense stretch. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Okay, and relax out then. So untangle yourself, put your feet onto the floor. So what I'd like you to do now is shoot one leg up, nice and straight. Flex your foot at the top and just hold it here for a second. Don't hold on to it yet. I want you to try and do it yourself. So use your muscles to keep your leg up straight. If it won't go straight, obviously go as straight as you can. Taking your hands not ideally behind your kneecap, but just behind your leg, and just assist that. You can just unflex your foot if you want to. And if you're like, yeah, that's still not too bad, then flex your foot again and take hold of your foot. That should intensify it quite significantly. So, okay, release that leg slightly, bend your knee and put your foot onto the other knee. So you're creating two triangles. Hands out to the side, and then we're going to supine twist. So bringing your knee across your body. Okay, so not the other way, across your body. Keeping your shoulders on the floor. And just sink it down, the whole lot sink down. If you're able to, you can use your hands just to push your knee even further, and then you can tuck your foot underneath the other knee. So it's a really strong stretch, that one. If you want to intensify it even more, just look away. I'm not going to do that because my hair won't allow it, actually. Good. Release your leg and bring your head back to center and use your tummy muscle to bring yourself back up. Excellent. Okay, dropping that foot back down to earth, shooting the other leg up, and at first, try not to hold onto that leg. So leg straight as you can, dead straight. You can really lock it out this time. Foot flexed, hold it here. If that's too difficult, just bend your legs slightly. Just make sure your hips are lined up and your legs not flopping out to the side. Okay, taking hold of it. Keep your foot flexed if you want to. If not, you can just relax your foot. The more flexed it is, the more intense the stretch. And then again, if you want to go into your more advanced stretch, take hold of your toe, only if your hamstring will allow it. Okay, release, bend your knee, put your foot onto the other knee, hands out to the side, and remember we are coming across, so knee across your body, and sink it down. Relax and try to look the other way. Remember, you can use your hand to assist your knee further. Lovely. Okay, release your knee and use your muscles, bringing yourself back up to center and dropping that foot. Right, we're going to do some little mini ones here. So feet are on the floor, knees and feet are together, hands out to the side again, and just drop, touch the floor, and then bring yourself back up and over. So you're sort of just pendulum swinging. So as soon as you touch the floor, just relax and then bring it back up again. And it's easier if you just sort of, you're pivoting on your toes. You just basically point your toes very slightly, and it's a little bit easier to pivot. Let's do one more each side. So bring it up, drop it down. Touch, relax, bring it up and drop it down. And relax. Good, back up to center. Wonderful. Bringing your knees in, just engage your core very slightly, bring your knees in, and then just doing little tiny circles. And tiny circles the other way. Very good. Back to center. Take hold of underneath one leg and just slowly roll yourself back up again. So back the way we came.
Give yourself a second. And then we're going to come onto all fours. And we'll do one final stretch now. This is quite a strong one for the back of your legs again. So if they should be quite stretched out now, but if it's too difficult, then just bend your knees very slightly. So we're going to come up onto our knees, put one foot in front of you, tuck your back toe under, hands down, and then we're pushing up into a pyramid. So we're here. So your feet are parallel. You don't have to have them in a row. So it's as if you're standing and just push one leg backwards, but they are facing forwards. Hands, if they can't make the floor, they are on your leg. You don't have to straighten your back, but you should feel that really quite strongly. If your legs are straight, just drop your head. Oh, it's a good one, this one. Very strong. Just breathe and let it relax. As I said, if it is too strong, just bend your knees very slightly and take the pressure off. Right, so to come out of this, bend your knees, hop your foot together, and then you're swapping legs. So push the other one back and straighten the legs. Again, just rearrange if you need to, drop your head and feel that really strongly down the front leg at the back and still fairly strongly at the back leg as well. Hold it here, you have to balance slightly. All about balance today, oh my God. Now, if you can, we're not going to come the same way as we did, so we're going to come up. Let go of the floor, very slightly bend your knees, very slightly. Roll and curl it up, try and rely on your balance. Curl it up, head last. Straighten your legs, arms up, breathe in. And relax down. Bend your legs very slightly and step forward so they're together. That's it, wonderful. Right, just give your legs a little jig. And to finish, as always, ladies, hip width apart. And we're going to do a little scoop all the way up and onto your toes. Final balance request from me. All the way up and lift. And last one, all the way down, up, and lift. Yay, fantastic. Wonderful, thank you very much, everyone. Wonderful stuff.